You can change your entire life by just changing one habit. Subscribe to our podcast and make listening a habit.
Change your mindset, manifest your dream life, and live magically with Rise and Align.
Raising the frequency one episode at a time.
Everything is always working out for us. Hello and welcome back to the Rise and Align podcast, where we talk about all things high vibrational. We're your hosts. My name is Demi.
And I'm Halie, and today we have brought you on a field trip. We are on Lake Superior, one of our favorite places on earth, really. It's so magical and serene and such a great place to film an episode, I feel like, and I feel like we have so much to catch up on. It's been a while since it's been just us, and we've had the opportunity to interview some really amazing people, which was kind of unexpected, but like an unexpected blessing. Like, we're so grateful. I feel like that's not something we had even planned for. And the opportunities just kind of fell into our lap, and it's just been so amazing to be able to share these amazing, profound, spiritual people with you guys.
Absolutely. I feel like in the past we've definitely talked about how in our future we'd love to interview people, and we're big fans of the Jay Shetty podcast, who's always interviewing really interesting spiritual all kinds of people. So we were like, it'd be great to do that somewhere along the line, but we've never pursued it ourselves. They just started kind of popping up. I think when you align with something and you're open to the idea, it just shows up in your reality. So it's been so cool. And I love, learning from other people, and especially people who have so much wisdom to share, and different perspectives and stuff. Like, it's so cool how we can expand infinitely. I love it.
Yes. And so many unique lives that they've lived, and they've all come to similar conclusions, and they've been able to create a life doing what they love, which I think is so magical and ideal, really. And it kind of brings me to this concept that I've been thinking about a little bit lately, and it's that I feel like abundance and the heart, or the heart chakra, are like one, or one and the same, or they come together in a sense. I feel like the more that you open your heart, connect with your heart, follow what you love, follow doing what you love, that is how you welcome abundance into your life. And the heart chakra, the color is green for the heart chakra, and colors are frequencies. The color, or a color, to represent abundance is also green, and green is on our money. Like, green is also a color of abundance. So I feel like the frequency of abundance and the heart are the same, and the more you can align with that, the more you welcome in blessings in your life. And abundance isn't just about money, but it is about infinite resources, infinite everything, infinite expansion, and just the more that you can align both of those concepts, I think, is what helps you welcome that into your life.
I 100% agree. And I mean, I can say so many different things about this, starting with, when you do what you love, you will become successful, and you never work a day in your life. When we think about love and abundance, I think a lot about the struggles that humans hold, and including things that I've experienced myself, right? So when we feel unworthy, it typically shows up in every area of our life. It's not just, I don't have money. It's usually, I have problems with relationships, and I have problems making money. And I've seen, there's this group I'm a part of on Facebook. It's High Value Women. And they talk about, when you take this course, which is meant to help you open your heart to love and connect with your true, somebody you're meant to be in a high value, meant to be with, and a high value man, that these women who take the course end up then becoming highly successful in their business as well, because it aligns them with that. But I really think the whole point of everything is the feeling, right? So what do we want from abundance? It's not that we want paper. It's that we want that freedom. We want that joy in our hearts. We want that light. We want that connection. We want that alignment, And then I was listening to, gosh, I wish I could remember her name. She's the #1 therapist in Britain. I think she might might even be self-taught, but she teaches others, and I see her talks all the time. She's like the coolest lady. And she was talking about like how we perceive money and how we can change our perception of money by changing the words, which we're talking about all the time on here. You know, words are spells, and what you're speaking is creating the reality you experience. But she said, tell me all of your limitations around money. And she was talking to like a massive crowd, right? And so people were saying like, there's never enough. I don't have enough money. I wish I had more. Other people have so much money and I'm jealous of them. Or I hate people who have a lot of money. Or some people have a belief like men don't like women who are really successful or have a lot of money. Like whatever you can think of, right? And she said, now change the word money with energy. There's never enough energy. Everything's made up of energy. Like I am telling you, when I say there's infinite abundance here for us, I mean that. I mean that literally, scientifically, emotionally, spiritually, on every freaking level, there is infinite abundance here for us. For us. Amen. For us. It's here. It's infinite. I'm telling you. And people look at me like I'm crazy when I say that. But I'm like, think about it. If everything is made up of energy, and the universe is constantly expanding, but it cannot be destroyed. Energy can't be destroyed. It can only be converted. It's infinite. It is infinite. And money is only a frequency. It's only an energy. So when we're saying like, I don't have enough energy, I wish I had more energy, literally give yourself more energy. Take care of yourself. The better you feel, the more abundance you attract, and the more love you attract. The more you love yourself, the more you can give it out to others, and the more that you love others, the more you feel that in your heart.
Amen.
Yes.
I feel like for myself, one of my favorite practices for that is going out in nature, because I feel like when you get lost in nature, you can find yourself, because you're connected with that abundance. You're connected with all that is, like that all one energy. And in the summer especially, when you go out in nature, you go out in the trees, you are surrounded by that color green. And a lot of people talk about, you know, when you go out into nature, you are grounding. So you're grounding into yourself, and that is what's connecting you with your heart. Like I just feel like nature is just such a great way to do that, and to align with the energy of abundance, to align with the energy of your heart. And I've said this many times, but like when I do take the time to go out in nature and to kind of, you know, detach from everything that is life, of the lack, you know, maybe the lack mindset, the maybe some of those things that you were just saying, like if I feel like I'm thinking negatively, the second I spend time in nature and I'm re-entering back into life, those thoughts are gone. Like I'm not thinking that way anymore. And I make more money when I go out in nature than I do when I'm like working hard, you know, when I'm efforting into it. And I think that that's just such a great teacher and tool. And I was also just thinking about how when you were just saying like, I don't even think I can come up with those terms, like those things you were saying again that were like negative affirmations about money, because like I've trained myself not to think that way. So I'm like, I can't even like think of how to say that. But when you were saying them, I was trying to think of other things. Like as you were saying them, my heart felt like it was closing. I was like, ooh, like it felt so yucky and bad. And I was like, ooh, like our words are spells, like they have an energetic frequency. And just you saying those like made me feel that way, or like, you know, it led me to feel that way. But it's also like you're closing off your heart when you say those things. When you say things like there is infinite abundance here for us, you feel way more expansive. You can feel your heart space literally opening when you affirm those things.
Yeah, you do. You feel it in your body. I think it's the same when we think about love too. There are so many people who say like, I'm never going to get married again. You can't trust anyone. Like, yeah, I have to think about the things that people say and they don't feel good. But you know, the things that they say, when you're saying those things, you're totally closing yourself off to love. You're totally closing yourself off. And by the way, none of those things are true. In fact, we decide in our own minds, in our own hearts, like what is true for us. It's a dual universe. It's polarity. Like it's just a perspective. So you get to choose what's going to be true for you in your life. And when you do, when you choose the thing that you actually want, instead of like allowing this negative pull, when you look at it and you're like, what's the opposite of that? What do I actually want? Because you don't want to be alone forever. Like, you want love. It feels good to love, whether or not that's romantic or platonic. Like, it feels really good because we are truly all connected. It feels really good to love others. You want that. You want to focus there. There's no lack of that. I mean, if you start to really think about it just in your own heart, there's no limitation to how much love you can give to other people. Like, truly, you can be kind to every person you encounter for the rest of your life, and you'll never run out.
I feel like limiting beliefs are what block you from connecting back with that. Like, I feel like that is innate in us to believe those things, but I think we develop these like limiting beliefs that like literally they're like road blockers until you like address them or move the sign out of the way or whatever. Like, you're gonna have a hard time, I feel like, believing that or connecting with the more positive aspect of that because you've trained yourself to believe that way. So I think it's so important, if you are feeling like I'm never going to get married again, like whatever, break that down. Like, why do you think you believe that way? And maybe you were hurt by someone. Well, what led you to feel, just like break that down deeper, because I think that it's easy to just be like, oh, I'm never getting married again. Like, men suck. Like, okay, that's easy to say, but like there's so much more to unpack there than just like
so
that belief.
Much. Yeah. And I think, our subconscious, we talk about all the time, is programmed, right? And I think as a society, there are certain societal concepts that are more prominent than others. And like we talked about with Alfredo, like the human mind in this day and age thinks about negative things 9 times more than positive things. Like, we have to switch to try to focus positively, which is crazy because I think it's our natural state, how we're supposed to be, how we're born being. I feel like there are so many people, especially, I mean, they're on both sides. I want to say there are so many women who hate men. There are so many men who hate women. Oh my God. So my feed has a lot of like high value people. I think they're high value. I really do. And they kind of like, quote unquote, advertise themselves as that on the internet, right? They'll be in really happy, healthy relationships, really loving, trusting, supportive relationships. And if it's like a woman saying like, oh, I'm blessed to go to Pilates and look my best and be happy and safe and comfortable and thriving and pursuing my own passions because my man pays the bills for me and works really hard to do that, then there'll be all these men saying like, oh my God, you lazy gold digger, and they're so mad. They're so mad. And then there's the other side of things where if like a man is saying like he wants to take care of his woman, or like men should take care of their women, they should provide, it's natural to be the provider, the leader of a relationship, like things like that, there'll be men yelling at him. And there'll also be these women in the comments who are like, oh no, like you deserve 50-50. I would go 50-50 with you. And they're so mad. And whatever your beliefs are, if you're a happy person, you're not on the internet hating on other people.
Yes. So it kind of comes back to like love and money and or abundance being connected. Those same people that are hating and being like, complaining or, thinks like the woman should, be a bigger contributor, blah, blah, blah. Like, those are the same people that are not in a happy, loving relationship. And maybe they're insecure about their own ability to attract abundance. So they are reflecting that onto other people. It's all connected.
Yeah. Or there'll be people, I've seen this a ton, where they say, that woman's cheating. For sure she's cheating on you, dude. And I think it just comes from their own inability to trust and their own like pain and fear. Like they're scared that they're not worthy of a loyal relationship.
And that's why it's so important to unpack that statement that you have to affirm to yourself or to other people, like putting it out there for other people to see. Like, you have to unpack that deeper, because why do you believe that, or why do you think that, like, why are you so passionate about that? You have to unpack that more. You're insecure about this because a woman said this to you one time, or like you need to unpack that deeper.
Mm-hmm.
You have aspects that like you're literally blocking yourself from living your dream life by
Mm-hmm.
not, you're doing yourself a disservice by
Yeah.
not unpacking and going deeper.
Yeah. It's also really interesting because I feel like a lot of the people that are like posting and preaching that kind of like healthy, like masculine and feminine energy in a relationship, like we have different roles
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing, are actually really abundant. They will be the people with like a beautiful mansion,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they've got like exactly what you want to have.
Mm-hmm.
And then the people who are commenting are like trolls.
Yeah.
And they're really dark, you know.
Exactly.
It's, yeah, you can see that the thing is your reality never lies.
Mm-hmm. Right. And if you are truly happy and abundant and in love, like you literally, that comment you don't care about. Like I don't know what they think they're getting out of commenting that, but like joke's on you, bro, because you're broke and
Yeah. Yeah.
not happy.
I can see your sadness, sir.
It is kind of, yeah, it's kind of sad. Like,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
just, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
It is really interesting. But alas. When you were talking about, you know, going out in nature and witnessing abundance and being surrounded by that vibration and the green color, and honestly, nature has infinite abundance. Like we're sitting here on the beach and you guys can't see. I'm going to show you. The sand here is like rocks. It's all rocks. But there are infinite rocks, I'm telling you, on this planet. There's so many, and they are always getting made, right? Nature is the best representation of that. That said, now everything is energy, including our technology, I get it, including our phones and all that, and our thoughts even, you know, everything. But there's something about nature that is so like deeply ingrained in our being, I think, that when you go out in nature and you think about your problems, it's much easier to flip that perspective than it is when you're sitting on your phone or when you're sitting in your house, when you're comparing yourself to other people on the internet. And I get it. I get there sometimes too, and I'm like, I just really wish I had my castle right now, and I'm sick of this. You know, like I get it, it's human. But once you get outside and you're witnessing the infinite abundance and you're connecting to it, thank you. Mother Nature is saying hello. The universe is
like,
really
turn
saying
it up.
hello, right? Our headphones just suddenly went up. You guys will not be able to hear that, but it was just funny that in that moment that happened, and the wind started blowing at the same time too. But when you are allowing yourself to be open to that, it is so easy to flip your perspective and to be like, oh, what was I thinking in the house? Like, that was totally wrong. And also, so there's this concept that there's only one point of consciousness, and that we can never prove that anyone else is conscious in the same way that we are. And so that means that everything else outside of us is simply a reflection of our consciousness, a reflection of our mind. And there's so many moments I've experienced, and I know we all have, where you're like really frustrated with somebody else or with a circumstance or something that's happening, right? And you want to blame it on them, and you're like, why are they being like this? You know, or like, why is this happening? Or why is this happening to me? That's a good one.
I will never, you can't say that.
No.
Nothing is happening to you. It's just moving through you.
Yeah, or happening for me for that
Yes,
matter.
exactly.
But I feel like when I'm able to just take some time and be in nature, especially alone in nature, that it reframes in a way where I'm like, oh my God, it's me. I'm the one attracting that experience from that person, from the world, whatever. And then it's like you literally can't blame anything on anyone else. Because you're the one aligned with the thing that's happening to you, you know? And I'm not saying like self-blame, but I am saying reframe, because you then have the power to change that.
That's so good. It also makes me think of this other concept that I heard someone talking about recently, and I've been reflecting on it, and it's like that spirituality has become too much about like disconnection and like dissociation and like rising like out of the 3D. I think that is a major part of it, and I think you do have to be able to do that to like connect to certain things, and I think that's definitely important. But like it's almost gone too far where we're like disconnecting so much from our bodies that we're not present and grounded and here. And I think that that's actually been a big approach of my spiritual journey and being a witch, is like grounding in, like, how can I take my spiritual practice and become more connected instead of disconnected from the world. And I think especially, you know, we think about meditation, we always talk about meditation and how valuable that can be, but I don't think that the only form of meditation is
sitting quietly,
getting out of your body. Like ascending it. I have had profound meditations where I am like basically like ascending from my body, but I also think it's important to take time to do quote unquote meditations where you feel everything. You go so deep into yourself and your own body, and you feel, and you are here, and you're present with your mind and your emotions. And I think that's what helps you work through them. And I think that that's where you get some of that like awareness from, is when you can sit with yourself so deeply instead of escaping this human aspect of yourself, because part of this journey is being human and connecting with this world around us and with this body and with this mind. We won't necessarily get to experience the universe this way after this life. So I think connecting is so much, is so important and so needed right now, because I think one, technology can be very disconnecting. It's an illusion. I think we think we're connecting, but not really. And, you know, with this aspect of spirituality of like disconnecting, which I don't think is fully disconnecting. If you can connect, I think, at a deeper level with like all is one, like, you know, but going out in nature, like you were just saying, like you kind of go in there and you find a piece of yourself, or you learn a bit about yourself by going in there, going out in nature and being alone and grounding with the earth. Like, I just think that's so important, to just soak up all there is to this life and like be so present with everything.
Yeah, I think you're so right. I really have always thought that feeling is one of the biggest reasons that we're here, you know, and feeling on the physical level as well as the emotional level is very, very human. It's, I don't know that we get to experience that outside of this experience. You know, it's such a blessing, and I really think that is part of why nature is so very powerful and very different than, you know, when we're sitting on our screens and stuff, is because I think that the key to life is to be and to be here now. And I have it tattooed on my back, be here now. Because I really do think that it is the key to everything, is just to be present in the moment, and nothing matters more than how you feel here now.
I totally agree. And that's something that I feel like I have to practice that even more than I used to, because I work online and I feel like I have developed ADHD by being, I think technology has done that to me, and like TikTok and the short attention span. Like, I will be working and I'm like, I have to get up and like go hang up some clothes, and then I sit back down and work, and then I'm like, like I'm gonna go brush my hair and like braid my hair. Like, I can't sit. I'm like struggling even more and more to sit still. And people used to call me crazy when I was younger. I loved being alone, and I loved sitting in silence. I loved it. And now I don't resist it, but I have a hard time like not feeling like my brain is like so scattered, and it's like, it's really frustrating. But it's an ongoing practice to always come back, teach yourself how to be present and be in the moment. I found myself the other day, I was watching a movie, and it was like an emotional part that was like intense, and there was a part of me that was like, oh, like I can't handle this, and like I picked up my phone and I was like trying to distract myself from feeling that, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, that is a blessing to be able to like experience that and go through that story. And it was kind of like a moment where I was like, man, like I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't know. I don't want to do this. So it's just something that I'm trying to be more aware of again, and like take that time to be with myself and be present. And like, I think life is so much more fun when you're present and like available to the moment.
Yeah, I so agree. I've honestly been feeling that way a lot lately too. Like, I used to be really, really, really good at being present, and I do think that it is, like, technology is a blessing in many ways, definitely, don't get me wrong. It's also driving me crazy. Like, seriously. The whole ADHD concept, yeah, don't we all have it? Like, let me tell you, today I'm cleaning my sink, okay? Present in that moment, though my thoughts are probably everywhere. There's a chip in my sink, and so I go, oh, I want to find a new sink. And then I was like, I've been seeing, without searching, new sinks for sale on Facebook Marketplace all the time lately. So I pick up my phone, I go on Facebook Marketplace, and I search for a sink, okay? Then an ad comes up on Facebook Marketplace, which is really annoying, by the way, that does this, but it's like a Shein sink, and I click on it. Then all of a sudden I'm on Shein and I'm looking at the dresses that are popping up, and then I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to email someone back earlier. And then I open my email and like, oh, there's another email that I need to click on, and oh, something else popped up, and somebody texts me, and then oh crap, I'm still cleaning the bathroom. Like, what's going on? Like, it just, oh my god, it's never ending. And sometimes, you know, you see somebody's reel, like you see a reel and you click on it and you're like, oh, I want to know more about this person, and then you go to their page, and then all of a sudden you've been scrolling their reels for 20 minutes. Like, why am I obsessed with these people that I don't even know? You know, I'm spending so much time and energy on them, and I think that's a problem for a lot of us these days.
I know, like it's so, it can be so cool, but it just, I think I need to put a timer on my own phone. I'm like, girl, like I it's to the point sometimes where like, while I'm doing something else, like I have to also be on my phone, or like I put on like a video of something while I'm doing something else, which can be fun if you're just like folding laundry or something, or like when you're cooking, like listening to high vibe music or listening to a podcast, like that can be special. But when it's just like mindlessly, you're mindlessly doing it, like I take a step back and I'm like, why am I even doing this right now? Like, this is, it doesn't feel good. I'm not doing it for really any reason other than like habitual like it's a habit. Like, I'm like,
So, you know what's interesting? I realized a couple of things recently. One, I habitually do listen to stuff, and it, don't get me wrong, it is 99% of the time something positive that I'm listening to, like while I'm doing my makeup or getting dressed or whatever. But there are so many times lately where I sit down and I'm like, wait, why do I need to listen to anything? Like, I don't need to. Like, maybe I should just spend some time with my own thoughts. I haven't seen her in ages. You know, like, let me just sit in peace for a minute. And the other thing I've noticed is, so I do yoga every single day. I have for years and years. And there was a time where I was just doing my own flow. And sometimes I would listen to, like, some positive, like, talk or whatever while I was doing it. And sometimes I would just do it in silence. And I clicked on my own YouTube channel today, which I just haven't made YouTube videos, well, apparently since 2021. And the last video I made was a yoga flow that I made up. And I was like, I can't even remember the last time that I wasn't following somebody else's video, that I wasn't following somebody else's flow. Why are we following other people's flow, you know, in life, not just in yoga? And yeah, I think it's really important that we do remember to spend that time with our own self and our own thoughts, and feeling into our own bodies, like, what do I actually need today? You know, like allowing ourselves to flow, or like, instead of like, well, I want to wear what the Kardashians are wearing, like, what do I want to wear if I'm not influenced by this external media, you know?
Yeah, yoga is such a good teacher because literally if you're doing your own flow, like you get to tune in and be like, oh, this feels really good, or oh, that doesn't feel right in my body. You're not just doing it because someone's saying, hey, do this pose. Like you're doing it because that's what your intuition is telling you to do, or because that's what you feel like you need in your body. And that can be applied to life. Like if you're following your own compass, your own heart, bringing it back to like following what makes you love life, like it feels so good instead of following that other person, following, you know, some other people's like dreams that aren't even yours. You just think that they are because you haven't taken a moment to like breathe and think about what you really want.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? We're so easily distracted by that. And also, what's funny with yoga, especially the word flow, is that when you're following somebody else, you don't necessarily know what they're going to do next. You don't know what the next pose is. So it's a lot more difficult to gracefully flow. But when you are doing it yourself, I find it is like, it's like ballet. Like it's like this beautiful dance with yourself.
Yes.
Like you do flow.
Yes.
And I love, like, when I'm doing yoga by myself, I'm like paying attention to every minuscule movement and every muscle, and like I am intentionally flowing and standing with integrity, you know, and moving.
Yeah. You have the space to be like, oh, like put your shoulders back. Oh, like you can do your own internal cues of like what makes it that your practice.
Yeah.
I love that.
And like, what do I need? Like, what is sore? Like, where should I work on more today? And also, like, what do I want to work on today? You know, not just like, well, I just clicked on someone's video, we'll see what happens. You know, it's like, yeah, you get to work whatever part of your body that you want and stretch whatever part of your body that needs it, and release the emotions that are likely there.
I have been trying to actually follow flows lately because this ADHD thing, I'm having a hard time like staying focused for a long period of time to do like a fulfilling yoga practice. I'm like, okay, what's next? What am I going to do now? Like I can't, I'm just having such a hard time like being like focusing. So I'm like trying to do other people's flows, and then I'm like, I don't want to do that. I end up doing my own thing anyways. I try, but I'm like, no.
I think that's why I have liked other people's flows so much, is that it allows me to just like not think, at least not to think about like what I'm doing or like what my next move is or anything. I just like completely am listening to whatever they're saying and doing it. Like that's it.
Yeah. Like both have value, but it's like, I just love that concept of like coming back to yourself, listen to what you need. That's so valuable for life as well. Like, that's just so magical.
Yeah, it's so important that we follow our own flow, you know, because we do have one. That's another thing that I think so many people, they believe that their own voice is not important. Like the market is already so saturated that I'm not even gonna try because everyone else is doing it. Like, what makes me special? But like your soul, like your DNA, everything about you, because you're not anyone else and no one else will ever be you.
Literally, like you don't look like anyone else. Like you are one in a billion. Like there's no one else on earth that looks like you. So therefore there's no one else that has your soul, that has you. Like there's just physically we're all different. So we're all different inside too, I feel like. And I just think that we're not meant to be anyone else.
No.
You know?
Yeah. Our messages are very like innate to us and nobody else. And something I love that I've heard about that is, if there's something that you are passionate about and that lights your soul up and that you really want to share with the world, but you're scared, you're not sharing it is doing a disservice to those who actually need your message. You're doing a disservice to the world. Like, you are being selfish by acting on that fear and not sharing your message and saying like, well, everyone else does it. Like, no, no one else does what you're gonna do. Not exactly.
Never. Yeah. You always have like your own experience, your own like vision and why you're doing it and what it means to you. And like we all have our own little like special piece of magic to add to anything, really. Like I, a lot of people can do a certain job, but like I think every one of those people would do it slightly differently. Like I work in marketing, and like if 100 people were doing marketing for the same business, every one of those people would come up with different ideas, different graphics, different ways to showcase that business. Like I think like don't cut yourself short. Like
also, like you think about creating anything, like art, music, literally anything that you're creating, you have a specific style. Just like you have your handwriting, no one else has the exact same handwriting as you. That's why they can like use that in the court of law to identify who wrote the note. Okay? Because you've got that individual signature on your soul. You really do. Like that's a great metaphor for the reality that you're experiencing. When I think about, like, I do makeup, nobody else does it exactly like I do it. Like, I would pay to have someone else do my makeup because I would look like a completely different person if someone else painted my face. Like, you are hiring that person for their talent. Like, I can paint a picture of this lake. It's going to look totally different than if you paint it, or if you paint it. Like, it's going to look different because we all have our own unique style. We really do.
Yes, I love that. I feel like my favorite thing that, like, I've done for myself, or to, like, feel more confident in myself, is to like embrace my style. Like I feel like we have similar fashion, but like I feel like our fashion isn't necessarily like, or our style of fashion isn't like trend necessarily like the trend. And I feel like the more like I've dove into my sense of like style in my home and in my clothing, like it has allowed me to feel like more confident in my individuality and excited about what I'm going to wear and excited to be in my home. And like when you just allow yourself to be you, it's so exciting. Like I go home and I'm like, oh, look at my cute stuff and my cute house. Like I love, it's just so fun. It's so fun.
It's funny you say that because there are two things I'm thinking about. I'm going to hold on to the other one. But I put this outfit on today and I was like, oh, I love it. Like, it's so cute. New stuff, you know, and like different stuff that I've put together before. And then for a second I was like, man, I look like really extra right now. Like, I'm not going to an event or anything. I'm literally going to sit by the lake, you know. But I just love dressing up. Like, I am extra. I'm sorry. It's who I am as a person. I'm not sorry. Like, I like for a second I was like, maybe I should wear something like more chill, you know. Like, I'm wearing too many jewels. You know, like
we have to wear jewels. We're going to see Lake Superior. She's a queen.
I know, exactly. And then I was like, no, like this is what I want to wear. Like this is what I like wearing.
Yes.
And so many people have been like, oh, like you're so overdressed. Like why are you always dressed up so much? And I'm like, for me, like because I like to. It makes me feel good. It makes me happy. It's like what is totally natural for me to do. I'm not thinking about anyone else. Like I know I live in Duluth, Minnesota, and it looks quote unquote weird for me to be wearing this like to the grocery store, but like I don't care. This is how I dress. Like this is just who I am. Like I've always been that way.
Yes. And I feel like I love anyone's outfit when you know that they're just vibing with it. Like there are people that will wear sweatsuits that I think is just so cute. It's such a vibe, but it's because that is what feels most like them and what they want to wear. And you can just tell, like when people are vibing with their outfits, they're probably vibing with themselves too. And it gives off a different energy. You're like, yes, like I love that for you, and I love this for me. Like it's so nice. Like I want everyone to feel comfortable to like embody their like true selves. And I'm not dressed like this all the time, but this is my style, you know? And I just think I don't know.
That's what I was going to say too. Like there are definitely days, and man, I have gone through periods God knows what I'm gonna wear. You never know. You just never know. It's fun like that, you know. I'm like a box of chocolates, but because of that, like no matter what I'm wearing, I'm 100% embracing that. Like yesterday, I was wearing just a white t-shirt and jean shorts, and I also loved that outfit. You know, like I'm all for whatever the heck I'm choosing today, and whoever she's showing up as.
Yes.
The other thing is, it's like an epidemic. So many women now who are changing their face. You all, I'm not judging you, I'm not trying not to judge you, have the same exact lips. Everybody has Botox to the point that you don't make facial expressions anymore. Everyone's getting veneers and they look so fake. And everyone's using Ozempic, and so they're unnaturally skinny. I want to be skinny and pretty too, I get it. But God made you individual, and you're like fighting that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, no matter how much you change the external, it doesn't change the internal pain. You know? And I think that that's like where the issue lies, is that people are not learning how to accept and love their truest, most authentic self, and so they're all turning into the Kardashians.
Yeah.
And it is actually concerning at this point. Like it's so many people, and like there have been moments where I've been like, oh, like maybe I should get something done, you know, like I'm starting to notice that I'm aging, and then I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's so much more rewarding to love yourself for who you are. Like, and I'm not judging, you know, and like, yes, there are things that I have tattoos and stuff, and sometimes I have extensions. I haven't now in a long time, actually. But, you know, I do my nails. Like, I do things that change my appearance, but it's not because I hate myself, and it's not because I want to look like someone else, you know? I think that it's important to just be mindful of that, and it is kind of sad to see how many people are trying to be like a Barbie.
Yeah. I think it's really unhealthy how it's talked about too. I think with influencers and stuff, it makes people think it's so normal, like that is just what you do. Everyone gets Botox. Everyone wants to change their face. Everyone, you know, does the chin tuck. Like, that's normal. So you should desire that and want that too. And so we have people in Duluth, Minnesota, like wanting to get facial surgery. And it just seems so crazy. I think it's a little bit of like a fad, a little bit of like brainwashing.
Totally.
And again, I'm not against it. I personally don't want it. But I'm not going to like say you're a bad person because you do that. But I do think that it comes down to why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Why do you want to? And if, you know, that's up to you to decide if that makes it worth it for you. But I think that you should really be mindful of like why you want to do it. And if it has something to do with wanting to like feel better about yourself or whatever, maybe try working on your mindset around that before like making these major changes.
I think what's interesting about that too is that you can alter your reality in pretty much any way with your mind. So if you want to have your perfect body, you don't need Ozempic. You can just manifest your perfect body. You can. I know it. And you can also even change your face shape. Like you can get your hair to grow healthier. Like you can pretty much make any of those things happen naturally. Okay? With your mind, literally just your mindset. And when you do it naturally and you do it from a place of self-love, like I'm going to take care of myself and nourish my body, and I'm going to work out on a regular basis, and you know, I'm going to build my muscles, and I'm going to take care of my skin, and I'm going to massage my face, I'm going to do gua sha, like I'm going to spend this time loving myself. It ends up being way more permanent than the surgery, because as we are seeing now, people who are, you know, aging quite a bit, who've had all that plastic surgery and stuff, they look older than they are now. Like they're starting to look kind of crazy and a little creepy at some of them, to be honest, you know. And it all came from like lack of self-acceptance, like feeling unworthy and wanting to be worthy by like changing yourself. But it's ironic because we are our own attraction point. So if you're, getting veneers and fake boobs and whatever to try to make yourself attractive to like the opposite sex or just attractive to all humans in general, right? We still feel your energy. And so if you're not like, I love myself so much, I'm so happy, you're still giving off that like lack unworthy energy, no matter how much you change your physical appearance, and it can be similar. Like some people do have a lot of wealth, but they're still like really insecure. And I know that I've met a lot of people, who might be beautiful or wealthy or whatever, but they're like really unlikable people. It doesn't change, and your energy is the most important thing.
That is such a good point. And I love that you talked about like doing practices that actually help you feel better and you are doing habits that actually make you feel better and healthier. Like if you're just, taking Ozempic, but not changing anything about your lifestyle, like you're still not healthy. Like you're not feeding yourself good foods or like exercising or doing good things for yourself. Like your body's like not happy. It's not healthy. You're just like band-aiding something else.
Yeah.
Something
Which
different.
I have heard some people say that Ozempic, like changed their appetite, which is awesome and everything. Like maybe you are eating healthier. Okay. But what I really dislike is that a lot of people are advertising that as healthy. It is quote unquote a medicine. Listen, don't sue me. I'm not a doctor, okay? This is not medical advice. It isn't healthy. It's not natural. There are horrible side effects. Look it up yourself, research it yourself, find actual science on it, not just TikTok or something, right? Find actual science. It isn't good for you. And anything that changes your physical appearance that drastically, that quickly, it's just not going to last. So you can do that, right? And be on it for whatever, like 2 years or whatever. When you come off it, you're going to have to deal with the side effects because every action has a reaction. So if you're doing it naturally, and yeah, it takes longer, yeah, it's more work, but also you put all that effort and energy and love into yourself, it's going to last. It's going to create a new habit versus if you're taking that shortcut, you're kind of screwing yourself long term.
Yes. That is so good. I think one other perspective I have on this too, especially for like Botox people who get it in their forehead, I think about it as like you're literally like freezing that area. So what are you doing when you are freezing your third eye? You are blocking your connection to your intuition. You are blocking your sixth sense. That makes it even harder to connect with yourself, to connect with there's a little chickadee over there. It makes it harder to connect with a deeper sense of being. You're literally and metaphorically blocking your connection to your third eye. And is this some sort of like experiment from the government, like to make
it is so highly advertised, isn't it? Also, I have heard people regret doing so much work because they look in the mirror one day and they don't recognize themselves anymore. And it becomes an addiction. So you start doing it because somebody told you, like, get preventative Botox in your 20s. Like, you need to start getting it. And then you start getting it habitually. And then all of a sudden one day you're like, oh my God, I have so much Botox in my face. Like, I don't look like myself, and I never will again.
And Botox is literally a toxin that you're putting in your body over and over and over again.
Yeah. There are actually so many bad side effects too that I didn't know about until recently, and I was like, oh my God, that's terrifying. Even though I've thought about it, now there's no way.
I've also have seen where there's been a decent amount of people, I don't know, I think I've seen on like TikTok or something, people talk about it, but I think they regret having like breast implants. They're like, wow, I really regret doing this. And I've heard experiences where they like literally burst and it's like extremely painful and horrible. And like, it's just, I don't think it's worth it. Like I love my body. I don't want anyone going inside of it and manipulating it and doing weird stuff. Like, stay out.
It is so much trauma on your body to have major surgery of any sort, by the way. Like, I just can't understand why people would choose that. Yeah. You know? I really don't. And I have seen a ton of that on Instagram where people regret it and they're like, oh, what have I done? Like, there's foreign objects in my body. And people get really sick from it, even if they don't burst sometimes, just because their body suddenly like rejects it, because it isn't natural. Like, you know, I know sometimes you look at others and you're like, wow, like God really gave them the good stick, you know, like they got the long stick, I got the short stick. And yeah, like, it's easy to be like, I truly, I wish my hair was a lot thicker and longer. I really do. Like, there are things about myself that I can pick out and hate on and whatever. But God chose this. And like, maybe my soul even did. Like, specifically designed and chose exactly every single thing about me. Like, this is who I'm meant to be in this lifetime. And I think the true gift and the true reward is learning to love and accept that and cherish that as much as God did creating you. You know, because it wasn't an accident. It wasn't, nothing about you was an accident.
Yes, you're so special. You're supposed to be like exactly how you are. You're beautiful as you are. Like, I think of literally any creature, like a butterfly, they all have a slightly different pattern, but they're all beautiful. Like, they're so beautiful and special and magical, just as you are. And I saw this like clip on TikTok, I think, and it was just this woman on a podcast. She was like, you know, at your funeral, no one's ever gonna be like, wow, she looked so good in a bikini or whatever. Like, that's not what life is about.
Yeah, it's not what's meaningful to us.
No, like, it's just so surface level, and it's kind of not. It's you have things that you are covering up that so deeply by like choosing to put foreign objects in your body. Like, there are things there that I think need to be unpacked.
Yeah, I really think so too. Also, like, hear me out. What if you're like hating on yourself and changing yourself so much that you cannot align with the things and the people that are truly meant for you? Like, what if your soulmate's like, I literally don't recognize you? Like, you know, like, you don't want that to happen. You want to fully embrace and love who you are so that you can align with that true essence of your soul and attract everything that is aligned with that, you know?
Yeah, I love that. I feel like even with myself, the more and more natural I go with things, the better I feel, the happier I am. Like, I've been wearing less makeup. I've been wearing more natural makeup, and I have been, like, I don't tan, like, I don't do, like, tanning lotion or anything like that anymore. And, like, it's just, like, the more I take a step back and, like, be more natural, like, I literally feel more myself.
Yeah, I actually feel that too. I've been experiencing that more and more lately. I feel like if you've been watching our podcast for a while, you can see like the evolution of us and we both are getting more and more natural, which is not what I expected, to be honest, like not what I expected of myself, but I do feel it's gratifying to truly accept yourself, you know? It really is. And it's fine to dress up and, you know, I'm for sure going to do a full face of makeup often in the future. You know, I don't know if there'll ever be a day when I never wear makeup anymore, but there's also days now where I don't wear makeup and where I'm totally happy and like in love with myself. Like, I love my skincare these days, let me tell you, you know, so I don't look in the mirror and like shun myself. I'm like, oh, you look good today, you know, no matter what. I think it's so gratifying to be on that level with yourself.
Yes, totally. Totally.
I also think back to when I was younger, there was a very, very happy time in my life where I was so free and I was not thinking about what other people thought of me at all. I don't know why I didn't have a care about it at that point in my life. I think it was because I was living in a different country where nobody knew me. So I was like, "Oh, whatever, these people are never going to see me again." And I was dating somebody and I remember him saying, like, I love that you just pretty much get up and go. Like, you don't take 3 hours to get ready like the women in this country do, like changing themselves. And at the time, these girls were orange in this country. But I didn't think twice of it. Like, I didn't have extensions. I didn't have my nails done. I wore like mascara and that was it. Like, that was it. You know, I didn't care and I wasn't dressing up. Like, I was just living my life and I was super happy and carefree. And he was like madly in love with me, obsessed with me. He was like, this is the best thing ever. And I think it was because I felt that way about myself, you know? And there's nothing more gratifying than that feeling.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, we all deserve that, you know.
We do.
So if you lost that along the way, come back home.
I think that's the theme of this episode. Come back home to yourself.
Yeah. And we're back to us now. We missed you guys.
Yeah, we did. This was so fun. We brought the most amazing oracle deck to finish off the episode. It is nature-y. It's the Green Witches oracle deck. And it's pretty good. It's our new favorite. Embrace the wisdom and insight of natural magic.
Oh, perfect.
So we will leave you guys with a message here. It's such a good opportunity to take that moment to sit with yourself and maybe reflect on what is coming up for you. Oh my goodness. Lake Superior picked that one for us.
There is a dragonfly on it.
Oh my God.
Okay, I've got to say, we got here and there were a bunch of dragonflies. Now, I saw a friend of mine post a picture yesterday on Instagram with a dragonfly on their finger, and I was like, that is so cool. I want a dragonfly to land on me. I've always thought they were good luck because my grandma always told me they were. And guess what's on this freaking card? It's a dragonfly.
Oh, and there's like a crystal in the middle. There's different.
Do you want to hold it or read it?
I'll let you do the honors of
Okay.
reading it. But I will say it says that it's leaves and it's renewal, revival, and progress. And it kind of has the wheel of the year on here. It has like the fall leaves and the spring plants and then different phases of the insect cycle. So if you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, we have the video format. So you're welcome to look at the card and kind of take in this wisdom.
Okay, honestly, I just feel after our entire talk about nature and sitting in nature, like this could not be more perfect.
Always.
Okay. Renewal, revival, progress. Card meaning: leaves are how plants and trees take in sunlight and, as a part of photosynthesis, convert it into food. The process also transforms carbon dioxide into oxygen, a byproduct that further sustains much of non-plant life on Earth. In this way, the leaves card reminds you that you may need to pull ideas and solutions from different places to get your desired results. Don't just rely on well-used patterns. Work to merge new patterns into your life. Leaves grow every year on deciduous trees, reminding us that cycles continue and that the energy of nature revives. No kidding. That the energy of nature revives after its fallow period. Leaves are how a tree interacts and communicates with its environment. Pay attention to leaves and you likely will find you are more in touch with the weather, seasonal shifts, and the well-being of your immediate environment. Be here now. Do you need to pay more attention to your feelings and intuition?
Oh, I love that.
That's totally what we've been talking about this whole time. I love that. So good.
That also reminds me, like, something that I love to do is like really intentionally experience the seasons and like kind of rely on nature to kind of go through the cycle, the cycle of life. Like, just talking about leaves, like you can literally just look at the leaves throughout the different seasons. Like in the winter, they have already fallen off. They are dead. Like, being prepared to nourish the intentions for spring. In the spring, they're budding. And then in the summer, they're blooming. And then in the fall, they like crisp up and fall off. And, that's kind of like a symbol of release. Like just looking at the leaf life cycle, you can learn so much about life and like allow yourself to experience that along with nature is so helpful.
We do have episodes, by the way, on every season and the energy of each season. So we're in summer right now. Go check that episode out if you're listening. This card also definitely made me think about how connected we all are. I mean, I know we've been talking about that this whole time, but we literally breathe out carbon dioxide and the trees breathe in it and breathe out oxygen.
We all support each other.
Truly connected in so many ways. And then also there are like infinite leaves. There are infinite leaves. They grow every year, and they fall off and they grow again. And this card it's got pictures of all kinds of leaves and it's green. So definitely abundance and luck are in the air.
I'm excited to listen to this episode myself. I feel like, we get in the flow and things are just like we become a vessel for, mother nature or the universe. Like, and I always love listening back. So
me too.
I hope you guys really like this episode. It's just so fun to hang out with you, and I'm so grateful that we were able to sit down together and meet again.
I kind of love when we don't have a plan and it just flows exactly how it's meant to. So we are sending you so much love. Thank you so much for listening and for helping us raise the vibration. Please like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend, and we'll see you in the next one.
We love you so much. Bye.
Bye.